Hello friends and welcome back. It's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and today I'm presenting for Altenew again. They have another great embossing folder release. What I'm focusing on today is the jungle leaves. And so you see I was able to make 3 different style cards here, and I did use my Gelli Plate, so I want to kind of demonstrate that for you. So here we've got that embossing folder, and you can kind of see that one side of it has like raised edges, the other is more close to being flat. So I'm going to go ahead and use Bamboo Parrot, Olive, and Gold Pigment ink on this particular one. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking my mini cubes and just kind of stamping it randomly all over that Gelli Plate. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my brayer to kind of soften things out here. And so you'll see that I've got a piece of white paper to the side, white cardstock to the side, and I am going to use that on one of the cards. I think the way the color blends in and looks very abstract, I think it's a pretty cool way to do it. So, I'm thinking I need to start using my brayer and my Gelli Plate more on backgrounds and things, because it is kind of fun to get that variety. So the next thing I'm going to do is, once I've got it all inked up, is I'm going to go ahead and lay the embossing folder onto the background there, or onto the Gelli Plate, and then I'm going to run it through my die cut with a piece of white cardstock. And you can see here what I ended up with is kind of a very textured type collection of leaves. And so then the next thing I did was I laid another piece of cardstock onto the Gelli Plate to pick up the excess ink. So it's kind of cool because you can really get kind of a 3-for-1 by doing these different techniques. So it's kind of, I like the way this is, rolling. So again, I'm kind of double checking my plate here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that brayered piece in, but I wanted to cut it down so that most of the colors were exposed after I ran it through. So you can see what the result of that one is just kind of a different look there. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm using my Altenew Gold Pigment ink, and again I am rolling it onto the background. So again, it's going to pick up some of the gold veins that are in the embossing folder, and I've chosen some olive cardstock that pretty well matches it. So I'll go ahead and run that through, and you end up with a bunch of cool gold leaves. And for what I ended up doing with this one, actually I did it again on vellum, and then in the end I selected a few of the larger leaves and fussy cut them out so that I could actually kind of roll them and line them up here on the front of this card. And this background is actually the inked background from once I used the embossing folder. So then I pulled out the tall alpha die and cut out the word hello, and then I wanted to gold emboss the bottom of it to kind of match the gold that was on the leaves. And so you can see here I've kind of taped them together, and then I'll go ahead and just run my my heat tool here to get that gold embossing to pop up, and then I'll go ahead and glue that down on the bottom. So I was happy with the way this card turned out. I kind of like that. A little bit different way to use the embossed background. So I'll pull my glue out here. And I'm using my T-ruler here to make sure that I get all my letters lined up. That's just an extra trick I learned. So we'll make sure that my words and my letters are all completely straight there, and then I'll set it aside to dry. Put an acrylic block on it. So I've got these 2 backgrounds left. So again, the one on the right is the first one I did that has kind of the embossing, and then I'm just adding black splatter And then the other one is actually a white cardstock that I embossed and then ran ink cubes over it. And so I ended up cutting out the word happy from a piece of the cardstock that had the green color applied, and that came from the Mega Greetings too. So I cut the happy out, and then, you know, I sat there and I started layering it, trying to get it to pop up. And so I started with a olive green background on the happy, and I still didn't think it popped enough. So I ended up cutting out a third layer of black and putting it on there. And so then we'll go ahead and glue that on. I did also splatter that with black gesso. Sorry, I'm off camera here just a little bit. So then I also heat embossed the word birthday and on a black piece of cardstock, and we'll go ahead and put that one aside. So now I'm down to my final card, which is actually the first background I did. And you can see there in the lower right-hand corner, I have a big blob of black paint. And so I'm going to show you how I disguise that. So we'll go ahead again and mount that on olive paper. I've also cut the word hello from the Tiny Sentiments Hello die. And then I stamp the sending you hugs in the middle of the strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to glue that strip right over that big black blob that I'm trying to hide. So again, I cut the word hello and the strip with both the olive paper and also black, and then just offset it just a little bit to, you know, to really make it pop. So again, that is my third card. I had a lot of fun making these cards using this forest jungle leaves, excuse me. So again, Terry with Terry's Mailbox. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Blogger, and YouTube. Would love to have you subscribe to my channels.